Let's get it. YouTube, what it do? It's your boy Black Atheist Rants, back with another video. You know what time it is. You know what's going on. Before we get into the video, let's do the housekeeping. Make sure to like the video. Make sure to leave a comment and subscribe if you rock with the channel. The goal for the video is 100 likes, 100 comments. Share the video to one person, two people, whoever you can. You know what I'm saying? Let's get the message out. We're going in this book. This is the Holy Bible. This is your guide to the galaxy. This is the inspired, inerrant word of God, according to the Christians, according to the white Europeans that came up with this shit. So we're going to dive into it because it was forced on us. We're going to go through every page, every letter, every verse, every period, comma, question mark, quotation, all that shit. We in this motherfucker. So get this work. We here, we with it. Let's go. Okay, when we last left off, Jacob was mating the lamb, the flock, and he was taking the stronger of the lambs and keeping them for himself, and he was giving his uncle Laban the weaker lambs, right? So we back. This is Genesis chapter 31. Everything that's fucked up and wrong with it. It says Jacob leaves secretly for Canaan. Let's dive in. Verse 1 says, "Now Jacob heard the words of Laban's sons, saying, Jacob has taken away all that was our father's, and from what belonged to our father, he has made all this wealth." Okay. It says, "And Jacob saw the attitude of Laban, and behold, it was not friendly toward him as it had been before. Then the Lord said to Jacob," because God speaks to them. I'm curious as to what language God speaks. Verse 3 says, "Then the Lord said to Jacob, return to the land of your fathers and to your relatives, and I will be with you." Okay. I thought God was everywhere at the same time. Why does he have to return back to his father's land to be with the God of the universe that's everywhere? That's including Laban's house, outside Laban's home, next to the cattle, next to the lamb, down the river stream, the road to Damascus, New York, Chicago, Baltimore, all this shit. God is everywhere according to Christians. Why would the Bible say that Jacob has to return back to his father's land so that the Lord can be with him when God is everywhere? Makes no fucking sense. Your bullshit meter should be going off automatically, off rip. We ain't 5 verses in. Verse 4 says, "So Jacob sent word and called Rachel and Leah to his flock in the field, and said to them, I see your father's attitude, that it is not friendly toward me as it was before. But the God of my father has been with me. You know that I have served your father with all my strength," right? Because if you go to the previous chapters, Jacob served Laban for a total of 14 years because Jacob wanted Rachel. He couldn't get Rachel, so he had to work another 7 years to get Rachel. He originally worked 7 years so that he could get Rachel. The father gave him Leah and told him he had to work another 7 years to get Rachel. So he had to, stay another term, which was 14 years altogether. So he's saying he's worked, he's been there. Your dad, your father screwed him over. Verse 6 says, "You know that I have served your father with all my strength. Yet your father has cheated me and changed my wages 10 times. However, God did not allow him to do me harm." Right? Because God can't protect us physically. The characters in the book have covering. They're shielded. God makes sure no weapon formed against them shall prosper physically. To the mythological characters in the Bible, God protects them from hurt, harm, and danger. He will not protect you because this is made up. This is fiction, right? But we are doing what's called an internal critique. So we are speaking as if this bullshit is true. And if these verses are true, if this is 100% accurate history, God protects us from harm. This verse proves that God either doesn't exist or he picks favorites, because he's going to make sure Jacob doesn't get harmed physically. He's going to make sure Jacob gets to where he needs to go. He's going to make sure Laban or anybody else, nobody can kill Jacob, because God is watching over and protecting him. And so you got to ask yourself, well, if God can do it for Jacob, why didn't he do it for our African American heroes? Why didn't he do it for people that were fighting for our freedom? They sniped us, hung us, burned us alive, ate our flesh, mistreated us, abused us, discriminated against us, all type of shit. I can go on and on about the harm that has been done to African people. And so as an African person, as a black man, I have to read this and go, wait a minute. These Jewish people, because this is Jewish mythology, these Jewish people in this book are protected by the Lord, by my Savior, my God, Yahweh, Elohim, Jesus Christ, Yeshua, Yahoo, all that bullshit. Yeah, he protects the characters in the Bible if this is true. And so I have to read this and go, I haven't asked, I look at my life like, when I was a Christian, I didn't ask God for nothing that's not in his book. I didn't ask him for things that were outside of his reach or unreasonable. I wasn't testing or questioning God. I was asking for what he gives on a regular fucking basis in Genesis chapter 31, 30, 33, 35, 20, 26. Every chapter we read so far, he's protected somebody from harm. They say it repeatedly. So, Father, forgive me for being jealous. Because if I was a Christian and I read this verse, I'd be mad. I'd be upset. Okay, let's keep going. Verse 7 says, "Yet your father has cheated me and changed my wages 10 times. However, God did not allow him to do me harm." Verse 8, "If he said this, the speckled shall be your wages, then all the flock delivered speckled. And if he said this, the striped shall be your wages, then all the flock delivered striped. So God has taken away your father's livestock and given them to me." We know that's not true, because at the end of Genesis 30, Jacob deliberately took the stronger of the flock and pushed his to that side and left the weaker of the flock for Laban. God didn't do anything. Verse 10 says, "And it came about at the time when the flock was breeding, that I raised my eyes and saw in a dream, and behold, the male goats that were mating were striped, speckled, or molted." Okay, I said that wrong. It's mottled. Okay. Verse 11, "Then the angel of God said to me in a dream, Jacob. And I said, Here I am. He said, Now raise your eyes and see that all the male goats that are mating are striped, speckled, or mottled. For I have seen everything that Laban has been doing to you." Right? Because God is watching y'all. It says, "I am the God of Bethel, where you anointed a memorial stone, where you made a vow to me. Now, arise, leave this land, and return to the land of your birth." Now, that little part we just read was God speaking to Jacob in a dream. You supposed to base your existence and your eternity on God speaking to Jacob in a dream. I'm curious as to who's writing this. How do they know what God told Jacob if they weren't there? Right? Because the person that was writing this, they were not eyewitnesses to this. They were not contemporaries of Jacob and Laban and Rachel and Leah. So how do they know word for word what God told Jacob? Clearly, your bullshit meter has to go off. Clearly, this is fiction. This is literature. This is allegory. This is mythology. This is myth. This is just a story. It's just a fable. I don't want you to get caught up, black people, into believing that this is something. I don't want you to think this has anything to do with your destiny. It doesn't. You were special and you had a destiny before they printed this. You would have had a destiny. You would have been special. You would have been amazing whether you had access to this garbage or not. I know I keep saying it, but the truth has to be repeated more than these lies. These lies have been printed out on multiple occasions, millions, billions of trillions of occasions. So I have to repeat the truth just as much as they repeat these fucking lies. This is Jewish mythology. You're going to get that drilled into your fucking head. This is Jewish mythology. This is European shit. This is not our shit. And I'm going to die on that fucking hill. Let's keep going. Verse 14 says, Rachel and Leah said to him, do we still have any share or inheritance in our father's house? Are we not regarded by him as foreigners? For he has sold us, because women are property, and has also entirely consumed our purchase price. Surely all the wealth which God has taken away from our father belongs to us and our children. Now then, do whatever God has told you. So Rachel wants a slice of the motherfucking pie. You know what I'm saying? Her father and his wealth should be transmitted to her and her children, and not just Jacob, is what she feels. But somebody needs to tell her, somebody should have told her that you're a property. You're a thing that's handed over and bought and exchanged for foreskin and livestock and goat's milk and shit like that. You're not your own person. You don't get to have a say-so and shit. Someone worked 7 years, 14 years for you and your sister, and you think you gotta say so and where the wealth go? Please stop it. Come on now. You're of no importance. You don't have it like that. You're just a woman in this book. Please know your motherfucking role, right? Ain't that what we getting? Cause she asking a question that's crazy during these times. No, Sunday K. No. What are you talking about, Rachel? Women are property in the Bible. What are you talking about, Rachel? Women are sex slaves in the Bible. What are you fucking talking about, Rachel? The whole world, our whole existence, original sin. Yeah, that's women's fault according to the Bible. Why the fuck would you think, why would you think that you get a piece of the motherfucking pie? No. Even if you were the one that baked the pie and were a part of the pie being created, right? Because the Bible hates fucking women, because the Bible views women as second class, because you're property in the book. You're owned. Jacob owns you. You're a good or a service. You don't get to have a say so on where the money go, what a finance, what a checking and debit and credit cards, and you know what you talking about. You're only good for making babies in this book. You're nothing if you can't make children. Your only job, your only career is to make sure Jacob has a motherfucking lineage. Why are you talking and asking questions about the money? Where the funds going? Know your role. Stay in your place, ma'am. Thank you. What's wrong with her, y'all? She getting out of pocket. She getting out of character. She want to speak up for herself. No. Nah, you fuck around and get stoned, Rachel. Stop playing with these men. These men in this book, they don't play like that. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that now. Hold up now. You got too much dip on your chip. Let's keep going. Verse 17. Then Jacob stood up and put his children and his wives on camels, and he drove away all his livestock and all his property which he had acquired, the livestock he possessed, which he had acquired in Padan Aram, to go to the land of Canaan to his father Isaac. Laban had gone to shear his flock, And Rachel stole the household idols that were her father's. Okay. It says, and Jacob deceived Laban and the Aramean by not telling him that he was fleeing. So he fled with all that he had, and he got up and crossed the Euphrates River and set out for the hill country of Gilead. He got up out of there. I call that redemption. I call that revenge. You know, he tricked you, you tricked him. She tricked you, you tricked her. You know, it is what it is. That's what they do. So far, all that's been going on is a lot of deceiving, a lot of trickery, a lot of, a lot of shady shit been going on with this family. You know what I'm saying? This is not a family you want to be like. I don't understand what this has to do with the God of the universe, but we'll figure it out. we'll find out one day. It says, Laban pursues Jacob. Verse 22. When Laban was informed on the third day that Jacob had fled, he took his kinsmen with him and pursued him a distance of 7 days' journey. And he overtook him in the hill country of Gilead. However, God came to Laban here. Y'all know how Yahweh get in steps God. Here come the creator of the motherfucking universe when Jacob needs him. It says, however, verse 24 says, however, God came to Laban, the Aramean, in a dream of the night and said to him, okay, so God is just appearing to everybody in fucking dreams. I'm still trying to figure out who wrote this. How do they know what God said to Laban and Jacob in dreams when they were not there? They didn't have the dream and they weren't eyewitness, contemporary, none of that. I'm still waiting on that answer, Lord. Shunday K, Big Jeezy. Hallelujah. I'm praying to you. Whoever printed this out, you know what I'm saying? They need to. I'm asking you, Lord, who wrote this and how do they know what you said to Jacob and Laban in dreams? I'm waiting on that answer, Yahweh. They say that. No, this is what the Christians say now. The Christians say when you confused and you need help, to call on God and ask him, and he gonna reveal it to you. So, I speak English. That's the language over here. You know what I'm saying? I'm just asking for a verbal communication while I'm on the video so other people can hear it too. We need an answer. All right, let's go back a little bit. Verse 24 says, however, God came to Laban the Aramean in a dream of the night and said to him, be careful that you do not speak to Jacob either good or bad. That's a threat. And Laban caught up with Jacob. Now Jacob had pitched his tent in the hill country, and Laban with his kinsmen camped in the hill country of Gilead. Then Laban said to Jacob, what have you done by deceiving me and carrying away my daughters like captives of the sword? You the same person that just sold your daughters for 7 years' work, and you deceived him first by not telling him he couldn't get Rachel first. He had to get the oldest and then the youngest. So this is the pot calling the kettle black. Verse 27. Why did you flee secretly and deceive me and did not tell me, so that I might have sent you away with joy and with songs, with tambourine and with lyre, and did not allow me to kiss my grandchildren and my daughters? First of all, that's a lot of fucking grandchildren, because if you go back to the previous chapters, they was going crazy. So, but I understand his gripe with Jacob. Let's keep going. It says, now you have done foolishly. It is in my power to do you harm. But the God of your father spoke to me last night. The God of your father spoke to me last night, saying, be careful not to speak either good or bad to Jacob. Now you have indeed gone away because you longed greatly for your father's house. But why did you steal my gods? Then Jacob replied to Laban, because I was afraid, for I thought that you would take your daughters from me by force. The one with whom you find your gods shall not live. In the presence of our relatives, Point out what is yours among my belongings and take it for yourself. Now Jacob did not know that Rachel had stolen them. Rachel. Damn, Rachel. So Laban went into Jacob's tent and into Leah's tent and into the tent of the two slave women, right? But he did not find them. Then he went out of Leah's tent and entered Rachel's tent. Now Rachel had taken the household idols and put them in the camel's saddlebag, and she sat on them. So Laban searched through all the tent but did not find them. And she said to her father, "May my Lord not be angry that I cannot stand in your presence, because the way of women is upon me." So he searched but did not find the household idols, right? So she lied. She's lying to her father. Damn. Verse 36. Then Jacob became angry and argued with Laban. And Jacob said to Laban, "What is my offense? What is my sin that you have hotly pursued me? Though you have searched through all my property, what have you found of all your household property?" It says, "Set it here in front of my relatives and your relatives, so that they may decide between the two of us. For these 20 years I have been with you, your ewes and your female goats have not miscarried, nor have I eaten the rams of your flocks. I did not even bring to you that which was torn by wild animals. I took the loss myself. You demanded it of my hand, whether stolen by day or stolen by night. This is how I was. By day, the heat consumed me, and the frost by night, and my sleep fled from my eyes," right? "For these 20 years I have been in your house. I served you 14 years for your 2 daughters and 6 years for your flock. And you changed my wages 10 times. Yes, facts. You know what I'm saying? He bringing it up. He letting it all out. He putting it on the table. They having a family intervention. And he's telling him, "Man, look, I worked 7 years for your first daughter. I own her now. I worked 7 years for your other daughter. I own her now. I worked 6 years for your flock." You know what I'm saying? He trying to let them show, like, "Hey, look, I worked 20 years for everything that you done gave me. So what you trying to say?" Let's keep going. Let's see what it is. Let's see how it ends. Verse 42 says, "If the God of my father, the God of Abraham, and the fear of Isaac had not been for me, surely now you would have sent me away empty-handed. If it wasn't for my God protecting me from you, you would have took all the things I worked for 20 years. Wow. All glory, all praise to God. It says, "God has seen my affliction and the labor of my hands, so he rendered judgment last night." Because God told Laban, "You better not play with my boy. You better not say nothing to him, good or bad." That's what God told Laban in a dream. So I want you to look at this story right now. Just stop what you're doing for a minute and think about this. Jacob worked hard 20 years. You know what I'm saying? God did not allow Laban to cause harm to Jacob. God saw Jacob's affliction. God saw his hard work. God saw he was being, run over, and Laban was trying to mistreat him, and God said, "You better not play with him." So we got to look at our lives, right? Look at all the people. Think of all the people that done worked hard, that done prayed and worked longer and harder than Jacob has. That's been praying to Yahweh. That's been praising Jesus. That's been going to church faithfully, giving 10%. That's been working dead-end jobs for years, being mistreated for years. God ain't protect them. God ain't appear to these motherfucking you. Come on now, let me talk my shit. Come on, get this work. Let me cook this shit. God ain't appeared to no European or no white man in a dream and told them they better not mistreat us. They better not cause harm to us. God ain't do that for us. God ain't do that for nobody. God ain't do that for black folks. So you gotta look at this story like, come on, turn your bullshit meat on. Come on, rock with Black Atheist now. You gotta look at this story and you gotta wonder. You gotta feel some type of jealousy. Like, what is so special about Jacob that I haven't done, that you haven't done? He ain't Jesus. He ain't no supernatural being. He's a regular guy, worked hard, and God said don't mistreat him, don't cause harm to him, you better not play with him. That's what God said of Jacob. Where is ours? I'm not asking anything of God that he doesn't do on a repeated basis in the Bible. I'm not asking God to do anything he don't do like it's clockwork. He does this shit. He does what I'm asking. First of all, we shouldn't even have to ask for this because Jacob ain't asked for this. God appeared to Laban in a dream without Jacob praying for it. Jacob ain't asked for that. God just did what he's supposed to do because he's God. He's the Lord and the Savior and the protector. He's the all-powerful creator of the universe. So Jacob ain't have to ask for shit. Why do we? We shouldn't have to ask for nothing. We should have the same thing Jacob got. A little protection from harm by the enemy, by the evil people, by the fucked up people, by the people that's trying to cause harm to us. God's supposed to appear to them in fucking dreams and tell them not to play with us. And if they do play with us, he got smoke for them. That's what's supposed to fucking happen. Does that happen? No. So why would you worship a God that picks favorites? Why would you worship a God that would protect these people in this book and not your own, not your grandmother, not your great-great-grandmother, not your grandfather, not your cousins and your uncles and your nieces and your nephews, your little one, the little one. We talking about kids too now. We talking about the babies. Your God would protect these people and not you. These Jews are protected in this book. This is Jewish mythology. We're going to keep fucking saying that. This is Jewish. Let me get this shit out. This is Jewish mythology. These motherfucking Jewish characters in this book, these fake ass characters in this book are protected by the God in this book. You are not, nigga. You ain't protected. You ain't saved. This God ain't going to protect you from no fucking harm, no danger, none of that. If you gonna base your, let me cook this shit. Let me talk my shit. If you gonna base your life on this fucking book, read it for yourself and look at how the God acts. He don't play about his people. He don't play about his people. That's a fucking bar. Yahweh don't play about his. Clearly, we are not his. We are not his chosen people. We ain't his favorite people. He didn't come for us. He didn't send his son for us. This ain't us, nigga. We are not Jews. Every last one of our heroes, every last one of us that was on the front line, all of our motherfucking African American heroes, all of our greatest, our goats. He watched as our goats got assassinated and mistreated, unabused, and they was fighting for our liberation and freedom. God watched. God let it happen. Them racist white people, them white supremacists, them motherfucking Christians and them Catholics. Come on now, talk to me. Them motherfucking Christians and them Catholics that was doing all this sick, wicked shit. He ain't appeared to them in no dream. Cause this is their God. Why would he? Let me cook this shit. Sunday K. Why would? I got you. I got it. It's coming. Why would the Jewish God, the European God, the European myth, Yahweh, Jesus Christ, why would they come and appear to them in dreams and tell them to stop harming us when they're the chosen people? This is their fucking shit. Religion is the deification of a culture. This is their culture. This is their culture deified. Why would the God out of their books and their scriptures and their scrolls and their papyrus, why would their gods tell them
to stop causing harm to us. No. Come on now. Think with me, nigga. Think for a fucking minute. I'm not preaching nothing that ain't in the fucking book. It says clear as day. The God appeared to Laban and said, don't touch my motherfucking son. God has favor over Jacob. God has a favorite person, a favorite people, a people that he's watching over and making sure they get to where they supposed to be. Making sure they get freedom and liberation and flock and resources and everything they fucking need to survive. He makes sure Jacob got it. And you can't take it from him. And all I'm saying is, I want a little bit of what he's having. If you want me to worship and believe in you, I want a little bit of that. That's all I'm fucking saying. Motherfucking black folks, we think this for us. The same God that's I got it. What you want me to stop? I got it all fucking day, nigga. The same God that's protecting Jacob, a fucking Jew, he let hurt, harm, and danger come to you and yours. And you pray harder, work harder, think faster, worship longer than this person. This person is a fucking idiot that has sex slaves. This person is a fucking clown. And he deceived Laban and took the stronger of the flock. This is a person that owns someone else's daughters as property. God has more favor for him than you. And you a loving person. You an empathetic person. You a compassionate person. You wouldn't dare own another person as a sex slave. You wouldn't be okay with your wife having sex slaves like Leah and Rachel got. You are a better person than the guy God's protecting in the book. Come on, talk to these niggas, black. Let this shit come, like, talk, nigga. No, we gonna put it on the fucking table, cause the motherfucking theologians and them New Testaments, hey, fuck them people. Fuck them people. Fuck a rabbi, fuck a priest, fuck them, fuck a pope, a cathedral. Fuck that shit, nigga. You don't gotta have no motherfucking theological degree and all that shit to understand common sense and put two and two together. No. This is some sick shit because it don't apply to you, nigga. This ain't your shit. And I ain't gotta move on. No, I can sit on this motherfucking verse all motherfucking day. Ain't nobody gonna whoop my ass. This my shit. I go 3 hours talking about one verse, nigga. You know how this shit get. Let's keep going. It says the covenant of Mizpah. Verse 43. Then Laban replied to Jacob, the daughters are my daughters. The children are my grandchildren. The flocks are my flocks. And everything that you see is mine. But what can I do this day to these daughters of mine or to their children to whom they have given birth? So now come, let's make a covenant, you and I, and it shall be a witness between you and me. Then Jacob took a stone and set it up as a memorial stone. Jacob said to his relatives, gather stones. So they took stones and made a heap, and they ate there by the heap. Now Laban called it Jagar Sahadutha. Okay, whatever the fuck that is. But Jacob called it Gilead. Laban said, this heap is a witness between you and me this day. Therefore it was named Gilead. And Mizpah, for he said, may the Lord keep watch between you and me when we are absent one from the other. Verse 50 says, if you mistreat my daughters, or if you take wives besides my daughters, although no one is with us, see, God is witness between you and me. Laban also said to Jacob, behold this heap, and behold the memorial stone which I have set between you and me. This heap is a witness, and the memorial stone is a witness, that I will not pass by this heap to you for harm, and you will not pass by this heap as this memorial stone to me for harm. Okay, whatever. So they're making a covenant to not hurt each other, and I guess they're gonna share the fucking flock and people or whatever. Verse 53 says, the God of Abraham and the God of Nahor, the God of their father, judge between us. So Jacob swore by the fear of his father Isaac. Then Jacob offered a sacrifice on the mountain and called his relatives to the meal. And they ate the meal and spent the night on the mountain. Then early in the morning, Laban got up and kissed his grandchildren and his daughters and blessed them. Then Laban departed and returned to his place. Okay, so they made a covenant. They forgave each other. They're gonna let bygones be bygones. If you pass the heap of stones, I'm not gonna, you don't pass the heap of stones to cause harm to me. I won't pass the heap of stones to cause harm to you. It is what it is. They shook on it, and everybody, we're gonna let it pass. Cool. That's how the story fucking ends. Congratulations. Y'all made a covenant. You sacrificed the offering to God and everything was okay. The end. What, you want a round of applause for this fucked up, stupid ass story? But that's the end of Genesis chapter 31. Clearly this is bullshit. Clearly this is man-made fiction. Clearly this is mythology. Clearly this don't make no fucking sense. Clearly you can't apply this to your life because it don't apply to you, because it's not your mythology, it's not your culture, this don't have nothing to do with you. You know what I'm saying? Go back and watch this shit again, man. I just killed this shit, man. Rest in peace to this motherfucking chapter. I mean, man, God appearing to Laban and telling him not to cause harm to Jacob, but he gonna let shit happen to us. He ain't appearing to these motherfucking white supremacists, these demons, these motherfucking Trumps and Elon Musk and all these racist ass motherfucking white people get to do whatever the fuck they want and won't no God step in and do shit. It's all on us when it comes to our problems and our afflictions and what we need and how we supposed to live. But in the book, you read multiple times all motherfucking day how the God come down and help motherfuckers. The God make sure motherfuckers get protected and covering and shielded. Man, fuck this book. I'm sick of this shit. But we on a motherfucking journey. Every page, every letter, every bar, every period, every sentence, every script, every made up mythological paraphrase paragraph, we all in this motherfucker. I'm gonna read the whole thing. And you stuck with me, nigga. This our covenant to prove that this is some dumb bullshit. And these is the first chapters of the book. I ain't skipping to the motherfucking gospels. No. Let's start with your origin. Let's start with your alpha. Fuck your omega. If your alpha fucked up, we can't get to your omega. Sunday K glory. Let me talk my shit. But that's the end of the chapter, nigga. You got this work. Man, I appreciate y'all, man. Like the video, subscribe to my shit, leave a comment, share this shit, man. We gotta get the word out. Motherfuckers thinking this is gonna help them. It ain't gonna help you do shit. But be a motherfucking mental slave in your mind, believing in some scriptures that don't even apply to you. You weren't even thought of when they put this shit together. That God don't know you. That God ain't fucking real. He don't know you, nigga. Man, I love y'all, man. Thank y'all for supporting the channel, man. Black Atheist Rants. I'm gone, nigga.